Hey everyone, welcome to the Bishop Verot Show on the Viking Network. This is our third episode and our very special homecoming episode. For our homecoming episode, there was only one person I could think to interview, and that was the man, the myth, the Viking legend, Coach Mike Gill. Coach Gill is an alumni of Bishop Verot, graduating in 1968, and he's been a teacher here, if you can believe this, since 1972. I interviewed Coach Gill for about an hour. Unfortunately, two of the cameras did not record the conversation, but we do have the audio. And trust me, if you love Bishop Verot, if you've been to Bishop Verot, if you know about Bishop Verot, you will want to hear this conversation. So we have the audio, which we're going to release right now. It's about an hour long. So when you're sitting in car line for an hour, or if you have some free time, please listen to Coach Gill talk about his time at Bishop Verot as a student and a teacher, what has changed in education, how much he loves this place, and the good that it truly does in our community. So please give it a listen. Thank you, Coach Gill, for sitting down with us and talking to us. I hope you all listen to it and enjoy. God bless you all. Thank you. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Bishop Verot Show. My name is Brad Nicolescu. I am the Director of Student Life here at Bishop Verot, and we have a very, very special guest today. Somebody who is a legend at Bishop Verot. He has been at Bishop Verot for 53 years. Who got 1 year, give or take. He is somebody that anybody who's been involved at Bishop Verot for the past couple of decades would know. He's one of the best people to ever grace our school. Please welcome Mr. Coach Mike Gill. Coach Gill, thank you so much.
Brad, I'm honored. Thank you.
It's an honor for us to have you on this podcast.
Thank you for having me. This must be what it's like if you're famous. And
you are famous, actually. You are famous. Thank you so much for doing this, especially with homecoming coming up. When we put this together, you were one of the first people that I wanted to have on the show. So thank you so much for being willing to do it and to kind of tell your story, since you've seen literally everything at Bishop Verot since the beginning of it.
It's been an interesting run.
I'm sure it has, and we're going to get into all those interesting moments in the next few minutes here. But first of all, just to get into your early life. So you were not born in Florida. You were born in West Virginia, correct?
Morgantown,
West Virginia.
The home of the University of West Virginia Mountaineers.
Fantastic. Greg Coleman would love to hear that.
Yes.
He's a big fan. Deanna Breen, too, by the way. So when did you initially move down to Fort Myers?
In the late 50s, my parents decided that they wanted to get out of the cold country and come down and live in Florida. So we migrated down here. And, of course, at that point in time in the 50s, Fort Myers was a frontier land.
Wow.
It was the Everglades.
Yep.
So, Bishop Verot was
not even around yet in the 50s. It wasn't even a school yet, correct?
Right. But when I arrived at Bishop Verot, there were only 4 high schools in Lee County. It was Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, Cypress Lake, and Bishop Verot.
Okay.
I should say Alva, the Alva Ramblers. Alva High School was our big rival.
Now that's gone. Because I live out in Alva, and there's no high school out there anymore, right?
No. Alva became Riverdale.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But Alva, great spirit, great community, great rivalry with Bishop Verot. They had very good athletics, and it was Bishop Verot, Alva, and LaBelle. We kind of battled it out for schools our size.
Right. Now, so you started at Bishop Verot in 1964. That was the first year it was called Bishop Verot, correct?
Right.
Prior to that, it was Fort Myers Central Catholic.
Fort Myers Central Catholic.
And it was downtown. Okay.
St. Francis.
And then it moved up. They built the main building.
The main building was the only building, within, I don't know, a square mile maybe. There was nothing here.
Wow.
It was just farmland and woods. We would have pigs rooting through the athletic fields.
Okay.
Deer. It was snakes.
Okay.
No air conditioning, and of course it was a frontier land. It was the Everglades.
Yeah.
But nobody complained, and it was a wonderful place. and it was a great place to grow up.
So, long story short, when we get back to your high school years in a little bit, but so you leave Bishop Verot to go to college. Where'd you go to college?
University of Tampa.
Okay, University of Tampa. Then after that, you had told me that when you were in college, you kind of had two different paths of what you wanted to do. Correct? One was education, and what was the other one?
Yeah. Well, no, my dream life was to be a member of the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. That didn't work out necessarily.
But
There's still time. There's still time for you.
When I was a journalist.
Cool.
I was a sports writer for the Fort Myers News Press, and then when I decided to go to the University of Tampa, I worked for the Tampa Tribune.
Okay.
And I was a sports writer for the Tampa Tribune. But you understand, back in those days, the University of Tampa was the only thing that existed. There was no University of South Florida. There was no Tampa Bay Bucks.
Right.
It was the University of Tampa. So Tampa, the Spartans, was big time.
Yeah, that's very cool. So what made you then move back down to Fort Myers to work at Bishop Verot?
Well, I wanted to come home because I love Fort Myers and my family, my parents and my sister. My family was here. And I love Bishop Verot.
Yeah.
But I put an application, my teaching application in at the Lee County school system. And I got a phone call from Sister Mary Rose, who was a principal at Bishop Verot.
Okay.
And she said, "Can you come see me?" And I said, "Sure, sister, I'd love to see you." So I went and visited with her. She had me sit down, and she says, "Look, I'm in a position where I'd like to offer you a full-time teaching position." And I said, "Wow, I'm honored." She said, "I've heard that you're putting your applications in different schools," and she said, "I would like you to consider coming to Bishop Verot."
Now, was
teach.
she principal when you were a student here, or
No.
so you didn't know her?
No.
Okay.
And so anyway, she said, "Well, here's the deal." She was a matter-of-fact person. She says, "I will give you a contract and I will hire you, and here's what I need you to do. I need you to agree to coach football. I need you to start an industrial arts program. I need you to teach math, English, science, history, and religion."
So that's it then.
That's it.
Just a couple of things.
And I said, "Sister," and this is the way she and others thought at that point in time. She said, "Are you all right with that?" And I said, "Well, that's a load. How can one person do all that?" And she said, "Are you a teacher? Do you have a certificate in the state of Florida to teach? If you're a teacher, you should be able to teach. You should. I don't care what it is." So I did. Over the course of my first 10 years, I taught just about all those things.
So at what point did you just become industrial arts?
I gravitated.
Okay.
Of course, during my tenure and my adventure through Bishop Verot, I was athletic director for 10 years. I was head football coach. I was head baseball coach. I was in charge of facilities.
Everything.
I was a chief cook and bottle washer.
Wow.
And I whatever they wanted me to do, I did.
That's amazing.
But what was interesting was she said, "Look, I don't want you to be a fly-by-night." She said, if you can't commit to staying at Bishop Verot for a period of time and teaching, I'm going to withdraw my contract." Well,
I think you lived up to it.
That was 53 years ago.
Yeah, so I think you did a good job there. So what was your first year teaching? Was it 1972? You said
72.
So 72, 73. So have you ever thought about this? How many presidents have come and gone since you've been employed here?
No.
So let's go. Let's try it. I'm just curious. I bet I was a history teacher, so I better be able to do this. So 72, you had Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush. That's 7. Obama, Biden, Trump. So 10. You've gone through 10 presidents just as a teacher.
Well, a couple historic events.
Yeah.
I can remember I was an eighth grader at St. Francis. I believe I was an eighth grader. And
JFK.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
And all the teachers were crying, everybody was crying, and everybody was upset. And we had no idea what was going on. And that's when we learned that JFK was shot. And then 9/11.
Yeah.
We did not have TVs. We had no TVs, no air conditioning, no cell phones. You know, we had a payphone near the front office at Verot here, and that was our main line of communication. I happened to have a little black and white TV set up in the shop, in the wood shop where I was teaching, and we saw the planes hit the towers, and we couldn't just couldn't figure it out. Couldn't put it all together. We didn't know if it was just an accident or what was going on. But that was a horrific time.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the Vietnam War, and that was going on prior to that. But you know, growing up at Verot has been I have been a recipient of more gifts from Bishop Verot High School than anyone. And let me just tell you, I'm a graduate of Bishop Verot. I met my wife at Bishop Verot. Our two sons are graduates of Bishop Verot. And I'm still at Bishop Verot. But my two sons, Zach, our oldest son, and Patrick, our youngest, both of them are doctorates, have doctorates. Zach is a Lee County judge, has a law background, law degree, and Patrick is a medical doctor. He's an internal medicine physician for Orlando Health in Orlando, and also an adjunct medical professor for Florida State University. And all that success and academic success came from Bishop Verot High School.
Yeah.
Bishop Verot. The teachers.
Yeah.
The teachers. And even when I was a student at Verot, and that's one of the things that motivated me to want to be an educator, is I was such a recipient of so many gifts. All the good sisters and the priests and all the teachers and coaches, it always appeared to me that they were always looking out after me, giving me, you know, whatever they could give, and they were totally devoted and dedicated. Their entire lives were wrapped around their students, of which I was one. And of course, I always thought, you know, man, they are just so impressive.
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy being that impressive to young people.
You are.
I hope.
You are.
I've really,
100%.
I've really tried. But, you know, times have changed. The environment has changed.
What has been the biggest change? Since you started teaching, obviously, it's been, what, you said 53 years. What has been the biggest change that you can say in education you have seen happen over the past 50 years?
The technology.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a copy machine. The most technical piece of equipment that, when I was a student here was the typewriter.
Yeah.
Not an electric one.
Right.
A manual typewriter. I'm a very good typist, and the good sister would walk through the aisles with between our desks with a yardstick, and if you weren't hitting the right keys, she was tapping that.
She was
thing.
hitting you.
and so I'm a pretty good typist.
Yeah.
But you know, a typewriter was it.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing.
And students today, I don't think realize that you know, if you put them in that environment, you know, I don't know that
I mean, even just like you said, no air conditioning. I mean, we are so lucky that we take it for granted that we can walk into any room anytime and it's the perfect temperature.
Yes.
But to live here and to go to school here and not have air conditioning in that building, I can't even imagine what that was
Well,
like.
we never thought about it.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
used to it, I
nobody ever, and the sisters, they were in their
Covered head to
full,
toe. Yeah.
full habits and regalia and they never complained. They never perspired.
Amazing.
They were always cool cucumbers. You know, they were always very comfortable.
Amazing.
In their settings, and you know, and it was not unusual to go to one of the classes in the main building downstairs, and they had louvered windows down low to encourage the movement of
Circulation
air.
of the air, yeah.
And it would not be unusual. It happened several times where you unwind the lower jalousies and the snake would fall.
I was going to say there's something in there, yeah.
And, you know,
Oh my gosh.
somebody would grab it and
Let it get it out of there.
take it out. And how times have changed,
Yeah.
too. We were talking yesterday, and, you know, if you were a student in any high school,
Yeah.
Bishop Verot, and you had a pickup truck, it wasn't a pickup truck unless you had a rifle or a shotgun hanging in the back window.
And kids could come to school with that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you might have to shoot a rattlesnake. I mean,
Right. Yeah, I think I told you that it wasn't in. So I have your book here from 1968, your senior year, and I thought it was in here, but it's not. It must be in a later one. But there was a club on campus at Bishop Verot where the kids would bring in their rifles or shotguns into the school, and there's photos of them just kind of sitting there with them like it's no big deal. And it's just incredible with what the world is like today that could even happen. It's remarkable.
Coach Fred Thier, who's still in town, who was a football coach who I broke in under here at Verot. He and I were one morning were teaching a physical education class, and our class would go out around the entire school perimeter, all the way out around the baseball field. They would have to do a lap, which
Campus tour. When I was in school, they called it a campus tour.
Yeah, pretty much. And Brett and I stepped out of the locker room and we're watching our kids go running down around behind the baseball field, and all of a sudden they're diving on the ground. And I thought, what the heck is going on here? And then we heard this pew, 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 pew. And one of the teachers was teaching English and speech, public speaking.
Okay.
And she was having the kids do a demonstration speech, and they were passing a .22 rifle.
Oh my gosh!
Shooting out over top of
Are you kidding me?
And out over top of the kids running, and
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but times were different.
And people probably didn't even think anything of it. I mean, it's like, what's going on over there?
No, and of course, I think Sister Mary Rose came out and said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right. Yeah, that's probably not the best idea in the world. Crazy. So you graduated in 68, and I asked you this yesterday. So obviously 1968, in the U.S. was a pretty pivotal year. Because while you were in school, the Tet Offensive happened that January, and then you had the assassination of MLK in April. Were those social issues, did those ever come into Bishop Verot? Did kids talk about them, or were they?
No.
Because nowadays the kids are inundated. We all are with news. Yeah. So was that ever an issue at Bishop Verot? Like people talking about the Vietnam War? And I think I asked you yesterday, you remember your draft number. Everybody does.
336.
Yep, my dad remembers his. But did those issues ever infect the school? Were you guys ever cause an issue?
No, I think we were pretty removed from the intensity of politics as the kids are really wrapped up into that now.
Yep.
And of course, with the media the way it is, and just, every kid has a cell phone, and they know exactly what's going on in the world every moment of the day.
Yep.
And so, it was not that way in the 60s. if we had day-old news, we were
Right.
pretty much on top of it.
Yeah.
But no, Vietnam was a concern, but I can't recall, at least in my close orbit of friends and students and classmates, anyone who ended up having to go to Vietnam. I think the good Lord was watching out after the Vikings.
Yeah.
They
That's a blessing for sure.
yeah, well, yeah. It was a touchy time, I know.
Yeah.
But we were removed from that.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So you are the shop teacher at Verot, the wood shop. A lot of schools don't even offer that kind of thing anymore. So why do you think that a class like wood shop or industrial arts is still important in a modern society?
Well, because it's very practical. And I think that, students, in the mornings, if they have their iPads, they're just
Glued to it.
always looking and
Yeah.
focused on their iPads and their electronic device. And I think we've kind of lost the importance of being able to fix things, do things, make things, and thank goodness Susie O'Grady and the administration of the school has felt it important to maintain what I teach.
Yeah.
However, I ran into Ray Briggs yesterday at Home Depot. Ray graduated, I think, in '83.
That's the year I was born, by the way.
His first question to me, I hadn't seen him in years, he says, "Are you still teaching household science?" And I said, "No, Ray, I haven't taught that in a long time." But I had a course that was a part of what we called senior seminar.
When you were a student?
No, when I was a
Teaching?
young teacher.
Oh, okay.
And Sister Mary Rose wanted me to be a part of the senior seminar program. And one teacher taught finance and bookkeeping, and another one taught kind of a home ec style of class, and all very practical.
Yeah.
I had household science. And Ray reminded me, he said, "Do you still have that toilet?" And I said, "No, I don't." But I had a toilet.
I was going to say, what was the toilet for?
I had a toilet on wheels.
I can only imagine.
I had a toilet on wheels, and I would wheel it into the classroom, and every student over the course of a period of time would have to take it completely apart, put it back together, and would have to explain to me how it works, why it works, and what are the problems and the solutions to the problems. And we would patch walls. We would do.
See, that's brilliant. That's stuff I can't do, and I wish I would have been taught something like that.
Electrical, how to replace a switch. And
Incredible.
it was a great course, and it's a shame that they didn't maintain it.
Yeah, I agree.
But, students that I had 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that's one of the first questions. How's the toilet class?
Yeah, and see, that's something they're always going to, and I bet you to this day, they remember how to fix it.
They always say they do,
That's an important thing to know.
Said it was, one of the most valuable courses that they have ever had.
Incredible. Speaking of courses, I have a quick question. In your yearbook, I saw that there was something back when you were in school called a senior marriage class.
Yes.
What was that?
It was just what the name implies. It was a marriage class that basically allowed the students to learn from married couples.
Wow.
The things that they should know relative to finance, relative to getting along with one another, emotions, and it was a very good course also, and it was taught by priests and nuns, and we would have parents come in And
Because back then, the majority of the faculty was clergy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Priests and sisters were, of course, what great educators.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Totally devoted
Yeah.
to the students. When I run into Father McNamara down at Resurrection, where Pat and I are members, he always reminds me that he and I broke in at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in '72.
Okay.
He was a young Irish.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was stationed here in the '70s, and he's just been here ever since.
Wow,
And,
awesome.
when Pat and I had, of course, you got to understand too that we went through some tough times relative to making ends meet. We had to be very careful. And when Zachary was born,
Yep.
we didn't have enough money to pay for the baptism,
Wow.
and we wanted Father McNamara to handle the baptism and so forth. So I was able to scratch up a dozen brand new Titleist golf balls.
Man, what more do you need? I know he's an avid.
He was thrilled.
He's an avid golfer, I know that.
Thrilled that I paid him for baptizing,
And golf balls.
with golf balls.
Yeah.
And he was thrilled.
That's awesome.
And I remind him every once in a while about that, and we laugh. And
Yeah.
hee-haw about it.
Yeah, he's a
And,
good guy.
But,
For sure.
times are different.
Absolutely.
And that was just such a wonderful, wonderful
Yeah.
time of our lives, and Patrick has my son Patrick, who's a physician. He always tickles me. He has a degree in chemistry from the University of Florida.
Pretty good.
Now, to get a chemistry degree from the University of Florida is one of the toughest
Yeah.
schools, and it's a very difficult thing to do. And most of the chemistry majors from Florida end up being chemical engineers, and but Patrick decided to go the medical route. But my point was, Patrick to this day will tell you, Kirk Pray.
Get out of here.
Kirk Pray was one of the finest chemistry teachers he's ever had.
Shout out to Mr. Bray. Fantastic guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's comparing him to
These PhDs up in.
professors
Yeah.
at the University of
Yeah.
Florida. He said he taught it, and I completely grasped
Right.
and understood the concepts. And
That's
and
awesome.
He said it was going through chemistry at the University of Florida was not a difficult thing for me
Because of Mr. Bray.
because he had
Yeah.
the foundation.
That's amazing.
But Kirk Pray was just one of
Yep.
Laurie Schreiner.
Oh, yeah.
and
One of the best.
Ed Bolton. Ed Bolton took both my sons on trips out of the country. Patrick did Machu Picchu.
Wow.
Zach went to Costa Rica. He actually went to the University of Costa Rica to study, and people just teachers that they had, and teachers whom I worked with, and teachers who I had, just were totally, and teachers today,
Right.
Bishop Verot is full of them, are totally devoted to their profession.
Yes. Yep. And making the kids better, not only academically, but as people, which
And,
I think is just so vitally needed today. So it's a blessing.
We at Bishop Verot are so blessed with so many great teachers.
Yeah.
And I hope that parents and students realize that.
Yeah.
that
The students, I think it takes some time. Like you said, your son, I think that the kids now, because they're immersed in it, they might not understand what they're getting and how lucky they are. But I think once they leave, they get out and see the world.
Yeah.
They do realize. I was talking to a student at the football game last week, And I asked her if she misses Bishop Verot. She graduated 2 years ago, and she said, I went to FSU, and my first year I didn't really miss it. She goes, but now I do. And she started to get emotional about it. And that's just, it's special to be able to impact a young person's life to where they get emotional about missing a place. That's just truly special, you know?
Well, the kids that we have here are also very special.
Yeah.
And, you asked me the other day, why did parents in the 60s send their kids to Bishop Verot High School? They could have gone to Fort Myers. They could have gone to North or Cypress, and as they can today, and not have to pay tuition.
Right.
But the answer to that question, in my opinion, was that most of the parents and families that sent their children to Bishop Verot back at that point in time, they were all products of Catholic school education.
Yeah.
They knew what it was about, and they wanted their children to be a part of that and to learn those concepts and
the morals,
Catholic doctrine and so forth. So I'm pretty sure that still probably holds true, that a lot of our parents are probably products of Catholic schools.
Okay, so I want to switch gears with you real quick. So I want to do something called 5 random questions. I did this with Mrs. O'Grady when I interviewed her. So kind of things off topic.
Sounds dangerous.
It is dangerous, which makes it fun. Okay, the first one is, real quick, outside of work, what do you enjoy doing?
Wow. This is going to sound silly, but I love work.
Yeah.
I love work. I love building things.
Yeah.
I love making things. I love giving things to people. On weekends, I'm generally in the wood shop making something.
Here at school, or do you have something at home?
No,
or do you come up here?
Here.
Okay.
Here. I used to work in the garage at home, but I ended up making too much of a mess. Kind of like what happened to me in the theater wood shop. I just produced so much
dust.
Sawdust.
Lots of sawdust coming out of
and
that.
Shavings. I was killing the air conditioners and
All right. So you like even at home, you like to just work and make things. That's your passion.
Yeah, I was heavy into sailing years ago. I was a big time sailboat guy.
I did not know that. Very cool.
Yeah, I loved sailing and midget ocean racing, and it was
very cool.
A lot of fun.
Awesome. Okay, question 2. What makes you laugh the hardest?
What makes me laugh the hardest? That's a good question. I enjoy seeing my students laugh.
Okay.
When my students find something that is funny and they start laughing.
That cracks you up?
Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
Okay, you're right. Sure. If they think it's funny, it's probably pretty funny. Next one. During your life, what has been the best invention and the worst invention?
Best invention. I can tell you the worst invention.
Go ahead. Start with the worst one.
The cell phone. Oh, my God.
Really? Okay.
The cell phone. I have a cell phone right here in my pocket, and I rarely use it. And generally, when it goes off, there's an issue or a problem or a concern. And of course, I can see what it does to the kids.
Yes,
The students are absolutely possessed. The cell phone is an evil thing. It can be an evil thing. I shouldn't say it is. You walk down the hallway sometimes when they have their phones out, and they'll walk right into you.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just totally focused on it.
Yep.
The best invention, boy, that's a tough one. I think this is going to be a silly answer.
Go ahead.
The microwave oven.
You know, it's so funny you say that because I'll tell you what, I saw Jay Leno one time interviewed a woman who was 100, and he asked her the same question, and that was hers too. She said the microwave in her 100 years was the best invention.
Well,
That's so funny you said that.
See how much pressure that takes off my wife, Pat, especially when the kids were little and growing up. She could warm something quickly.
Yeah.
She could always put together a wonderful meal quickly.
Yeah. That's so funny. I can't believe you said that. Yeah.
It was easy, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful tool.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that woman that Jay Leno interviewed, the microwave was the best one, and she said the worst invention was the credit card. She said if you can't pay for it, you shouldn't buy it, which I thought was very wise. Question 4, favorite fast food restaurant?
Ooh, I'm a fan of Burger King.
See, my wife loves that too. That's her favorite. Burger King. She just mentioned the other day we got to go to BK and get something. Yeah, it's good stuff. The Whopper is fantastic.
Yeah, it is, and I think I've grown to enjoy Mexican food, Hispanic food.
So Taco Bell, or is that not considered?
No. we had a bad experience.
I think everybody's had a bad Taco Bell experience.
And one night we both ended up driving the porcelain bus.
Yeah. Oh. I hear you.
And that's been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We haven't been.
Yeah. Everybody I think has experienced that.
But Greg has the
Paco's Tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Those guys.
Fantastic
those people
food.
are so nice, and they do such a good job, and we enjoy taking a couple tacos home, on a Friday night when we're working.
Right.
The game. And,
their quesadillas are fantastic. Okay, so last question for you: what were your favorite TV shows as a kid?
As a kid, favorite TV shows. I loved Gilligan's Island.
All right.
I loved the Little Rascals. I loved the Three Stooges.
I'm a huge Three Stooges fan. Yeah.
I just enjoyed those programs. When I go to the barbershop, where I go, they always have the Lone Ranger.
All right.
And those old cowboy flicks.
Yeah. Did you like westerns or no? My grandma she loved Wagon Train and all those old. You remember those ones?
Yeah,
Bonanza.
Yeah. I like cowboys, but never been a real western.
Okay.
Not John Wayne.
Yeah.
John Wayne was my hero. Still is. But there were some programs that I really loved. Sky King.
I never heard of that.
Sky King was a great one. Yeah.
I love those old TV shows. Yeah. They're, in my opinion, better than the modern ones. But my last question to you, and first of all, thank you again for doing this. It's been a pleasure. I could listen to you tell stories about this stuff, honest to God, all day. I love it.
I'm so honored.
My last question is, what do you ultimately want your legacy to be at Bishop Verot?
Wow. Just to be a good contributor to, my students, the students at Verot. I don't want anything more than that. But I got to tell you one quick story.
Go ahead.
If you got
of course.
Time. Homecoming.
Yeah.
Homecoming was coming up. And there was a little cheerleader that didn't have a date. And I wasn't going to go. I was not going to go to homecoming. And there were so few of us at Verot that the good sisters and basically all the teachers were like matchmakers.
No, you were a student at this time.
When I was a student.
Okay.
I was a student. I was a student and an athlete. And they were after me to
take this girl?
Take this girl. And I thought, I can't do that. I can't dance. I suck at dancing. I can't dance. I couldn't go out there and make a pull out of myself and have my guests be a part of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, one day I get a detention. Report to the convent.
Uh-oh.
Report to the convent. That's where they held detention. They picked weeds and moved furniture and whatever needed to be done.
Right.
And I couldn't get anybody to tell me why did I get a detention. And they said, you just better show up. So there was the convent at that point in time was a metal building that no longer exists, that is right at the end of Matthew Drive as you were coming into Sunrise. And that's where all the sisters lived. And so at 3 o'clock, I reported to the convent, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to rake or do something silly, and I really need to find out.
I know where this is going, I think.
So anyway, I knock on the door, and I said, I'm here to serve my detention. And they said, good, come on in. And there were like...
Can I guess what's going to happen?
3 or 4, yeah, go ahead.
They're going to teach you to dance.
They taught me how to dance. There was no stereo back then.
Right.
They had a hi-fi, high-fidelity record player. And they had an LP.
Oh, my gosh.
Steppenwolf.
Okay.
And so they had Steppenwolf. Why the hell did the Good Sisters have a Steppenwolf album?
Yeah.
But anyway, I said, I can't do this. I just can't do this. And you are going to do this.
Wow.
You are going to do this. There's no question.
Now, that girl wasn't there.
No.
Okay, they just want to teach you so you could take her to the dance.
Yeah. So anyway, they showed me all you got to do is move your arms a little bit and shake your hands and move your arms a little bit.
That's all it is.
And then once I practiced that a couple times, they said, you're doing good, you're doing good. They said, okay, now take your right foot and take it over to the left, and then move the right foot back, and then take the left over to the right, and shake your hands at the same time. I thought, that's so silly. and they said, they applauded me, and I said, this is the craziest detention I've ever served.
Yeah.
But it gets better. It gets better. So I thought, phew, got that over with. So I left. The next day, what is now the girls' bathroom
in the main building
was the athletic director's office.
Okay.
In the football office. So I got a note from Coach Korzep.
Oh, boy.
Coach Korzep said, please stop by and see me at lunchtime. I need to talk to you. And I figured, well, he wanted to talk about, some
football stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, no problem. So anyway, I go and I knock on the door. Nobody's there. And I knock on the door. Nobody answers. Whoa. And I turn around, and the whole football team, all my classmates, are behind me. And they said, Coach Korzep wants to see you. He's probably on the phone. Go on in. So I opened the door, and they pulled the door closed. Guess who was in there?
That girl? Oh, my.
She was in there. I was stuck. And they wouldn't let me out.
Until you asked her to go?
Well, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to do something. So anyway, I did, and she accepted. And I told her, look, I suck at dancing. I am going to embarrass you. And she assured me that would not be the problem. So we all lived happily ever after.
Good.
But it was a great experience. And
that's hilarious.
And I love to tell that story because it showed how everybody cared about me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, they cared about her.
Absolutely.
But and that's a lot of the foundation that still exists at Verot.
Yeah.
I think maybe not quite that.
In that same situation, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that what you said about your legacy, you've lived up to it. I can attest to that. I've known you for 5 years, and you are a true blessing to the
That's
school.
so kind. That's so kind.
It is absolutely true. And everybody who knows you says the same thing.
Wow.
So it's an honor to know you, to work with you. And I just have gotten to know you the past few years. So, so thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. This has been fun. I always enjoy reminiscing.
I could talk to you all day about this stuff. I just love it. I love it. I know that with homecoming coming up, I mean, you are, you've literally seen it and done it all here. So it's a pleasure, Coach. Thank you so much for coming in. That's all we have today for the Bishop Verot Show. Please subscribe to the Verot Network on YouTube so that this comes right to you from now on. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
God
Brad.
bless. Thank you. Thank you.